So good to see you. Hello.
Good afternoon, Kate.
Hi, it's so nice to see everyone again. It feels like it's been a long time, even though I think it's only been like a month and a half. Awesome. Dave, you'll have to let me know if and when everyone from your side is here.
Well, and Kate, if you could, before we jump into it, you could just give a little background on the
Yeah,
program it is, and if we could get the students to introduce themselves too a little bit, that'd be
definitely.
great before I'm diving into their presentation. So,
Yeah, 100%.
okay, appreciate that. Thank
For
you.
sure. And then can we do intros on your side too?
Sure.
Sweet. Awesome. Is everybody here from your side? Or should we wait another minute?
Pretty much, yep.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I'm Kate Berman. I'm one of the program managers at KidsX, which is our pediatric focused digital health accelerator, owned and operated by CHLA. And KidsX is a consortium of children's hospitals across the US that partners and connects with early stage pediatric startup companies who are looking to test and validate their products in pediatrics with the end goal of accelerating pediatric innovation at scale. I also work at the Innovation Studio at Children's Hospital Los Angeles, running a few different programs related to pediatrics. But really, the purpose of what we're doing with the city of Glendale is on the KidsX side. And so we, CHLA, KidsX, and City of Glendale partnered to put on a hackathon focused on targeting an aspect of food insecurity. And so obviously food insecurity is a really broad topic, but we chose to focus specifically on the aspect of when families and children have been screened and identified as food insecure, and they're provided, resources, whether that be, food supplements or financial resources, or food access to food banks and information about that. There's still a major gap between them being identified as food insecure and screened and their actual ability to access and have sustainable, affordable access to quality nutritional items and ingredients. And so we sort of put that problem statement out to our teams that participated in this food insecurity hackathon. And there were two top ideas that kind of rose to the top, which you'll meet the teams here who had those ideas. And they're going to pitch to you the solutions that they came up with based on that prompt. They had about 8 hours to kind of come up with that solution and then pitch it to our panel of judges. And I think we're at the point right now where the winning team has received funds to kind of accelerate and expand their solution. And I think what we're looking for from you is, creative ideas potentially to partner with or work with these teams to see if it fits into your strategy of what you're trying to achieve, or, to see if there's any alignment. But before we go into intros, are there any just like initial questions? Cool. Okay, awesome. I'll turn it over to my colleague Janai first to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Kate. I'm Janai. I am a current administrative fellow at CHLA, and I recently just rotated through KidsX and Innovation. So I'm just helping out Kate with sort of like the logistics and follow-up of everything related to the Food Insecurity Design-a-thon. Super excited to hear the pitches. It's going to be my first time, and super excited to get to meet everyone.
Awesome. And then Laura Green.
Hi, my name is Laura. I'm a graduate student currently pursuing an MS in Integrated Design, Business, and Technology at USC.
Awesome. Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jenna, and I am an undergrad student. I'm a freshman at USC studying arts, technology, and the business of innovation.
And then Tracy.
Hi, my name is Tracy Vu. I'm a freshman at USC studying intelligence and cyber operations at Dormside.
Awesome. And then wait, who am I missing?
I can go.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Student change the name tag. I'm Jessica, currently an undergraduate at USC, majoring in urban studies and planning and geodesign.
Awesome. Am I missing anyone else? No. Okay. Great. So yeah, that's the team. And then I guess if you guys want to do intros and then kick things off on your side, that'd be awesome.
Sure. So again, really excited to hear about your presentations today. So we came to this because Etienne, who will introduce himself in a minute, we got a we applied for and got accepted by Bloomberg to do some human-centered design around food recovery and in response to the new regulations SB 1383. So we had an internal team that tried to look at this process and tried to design a solution. And through that process, to comply with the regulations of SB 1383, we hired a consultant firm who would introduce themselves to help us in that. So this was all like swirling around. We had lots of information and everything. So when we heard about the KidsX, the Design-a-thon, so it'd be like really interesting to hear what you guys have come up with, hear what you guys have to say, and see possibly maybe in the near future, the far future, how some of your ideas may be integrated into our system. So with that, I'll let Greg introduce himself, then Etienne, then Elizabeth, and then the consultants.
Hey everyone, my name is Greg Kajo. I'm an innovation project manager for the city of Glendale. We help kind of serve as an internal consultant for the city. We help with a lot of different projects, help modernize and improve city processes. We're giving a helping hand to a lot of food recovery efforts and climate action efforts currently. So I've been involved in a lot of smaller projects of the city in that regard, and really happy to see your presentations. And also a graduate from USC. Fight on.
Hi, my name is Etienne Ozerak. I'm the integrated waste superintendent. So we take care of, picking up the trash and the recycling for the city of Glendale. And as part of an effort that Greg just mentioned, I was part of the team that looked at establishing the SB 1383 edible food recovery program. And if you're familiar with that piece of legislation, the city's required to have a program that targets generators, the restaurants and the businesses that generate potentially edible, recoverable food, as well as the service organizations. But that's about where the regulations end. And so the other question of, okay, now that you've picked it up, what happens to it is the part where it's kind of like the icing on the cake that we've been looking into. So we appreciate your efforts to assist us with this.
I'd like to ask Elena to introduce herself. Elena was our team lead for our Bloomberg project. So Elena, please.
Hi, my name is Elena Bolbolian. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer for the City of Glendale. And apologies for being a little bit late. Thank you for inviting us to view these solutions.
And Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Harris. I'm in the Sustainability Office with David, and I'm looking forward to hearing your solutions and pitches on how you're addressing this challenge. So thank you very much.
Probably Natalie, yes?
Yes, hi everyone. Nice to meet you, Kate, and your team. My name's Natalie. I'm one of the owners of Recreate Waste Collaborative. We are a consulting company located in Southern California that's working with a lot of communities on their edible food recovery programs. So we are helping the city of Glendale with providing education to a lot of the businesses in the city, and really just trying to make sure that we're redistributing food that's getting thrown away currently to hungry members of the Glendale community. So I'm really pleased to meet you and really looking forward to the ideas that you've come up with, and want to thank you for the time that it sounds like you put into this project. Sounds very creative, and your majors all sound very interesting. Nothing like I had when I was in school. And with the Recreate team, we have Allison Schill.
Hi, I'm Allison Schill, the creator and CEO of the Carrot food donation app that is being used in the city of Glendale to match food donors to nonprofit organizations that serve those in need. And I've also been involved in the food donation industry for 10 plus years. So I'm also excited to hear what you guys have come up with.
Okay,
Awesome.
Kate, take it away.
Yeah, should we have the team pitch?
Yes, please.
Great, yeah. So I'm not sure who on y'all's side wants to screen share, but
I'll go ahead and share.
perfect. Yeah, whenever you guys are ready. Thanks so much. Yeah, I can see it on my side, so it should be good.
So, hello, we are Team Meals to Go. And like we already said, our team was formed during the KidsX Food Insecurity Design-a-thon. Okay, you can go. So Isabella works a full-time job and has 3 young children who go to school every day. She's constantly overwhelmed about thinking about finding time to pick up groceries and preparing meals for her family, let alone thinking about whether or not it's healthy. There are 1.2 million other families in LA who struggle with food insecurity, just like Isabella. These families struggle to find resources to get groceries, and with their busy schedules, it makes it challenging to pick up foods from pantries or stores that may only be open during their work hours. And when they come home at the end of a long day, they have to spend countless hours in the kitchen preparing and cooking meals. So parents and guardians of families who struggle with food insecurity feel overwhelmed about finding the time to provide healthy meals and need an accessible way to obtain meals from a charitable resource.
The solution is Meals to Go. This initiative meets parents and guardians where they are and where they're going by conveniently placing large format grocery vending machines at schools and community centers. With 1.2 million food insecure families in LA County, we believe that food should feed people, not landfills. Our proposal reduces time and energy needed to find and prepare healthy meals. And better yet, Meals to Go makes these groceries free for families by partnering with companies already working in this space like Gooder or Carrot. And Gooder offers nationwide sustainable waste solutions to divert edible food waste from landfills. And this is how Meals to Go would work. A partner such as Gooder would source and deliver reclaimed surplus food directly to Meals to Go locations. We could also partner with organizations like HelloFresh and Green Chef to deliver grocery kits directly to our machines. Meals to Go is digitally interfaced through a web app. This web app would be available in multiple languages and serve as a way for parents and guardians to locate the vending machines, preview and reserve groceries within them, and access recipe and cooking video tutorials. The vending machines would also have QR codes displayed that will link directly to the web app. Users would also be able to provide feedback on their experience through this web app as well. Next slide, please. So we chose a web app platform for our solution rather than a mobile app because a web app would be quicker to develop and the user would not need to download anything and they'd be able to switch between devices. The city of Glendale can use an administrative login to manage and monitor the machine via mobile or desktop. Through this, they will be able to see the impact of each machine at their respective locations, as well as access maintenance schedules, user feedback, and metrics that Tracy will now speak to.
Okay. As for metrics, we plan to use our web app to measure reach, success, and future of our vending machines. Inside the web app, we have an optional survey to identify those who are food insecure and eligible for reservations. Combining that with the app's vending machine data, we can assess how many meals were delivered to those food insecure and also how many meals were delivered to those without technology and got them in person. As for success, we can measure the total number of meals delivered, and with the app reviews and feedback surveys, we can measure customer satisfaction. Furthermore, we can compare each location's performance and assess which location works better and where we can add more vending machines too.
Talking about the landscape, our solution helps the food insecure population by covering all criteria that we consider may be barriers for them to use existing resources. For instance, Food pantries only open several hours a week, are not easy to get to, and may line up for long. Even though food delivery seems to work well, it's too costly to run it long-term without abundant funding. Meals to Go addresses these problems by picking locations that families already visit routinely, providing 24-hour vending machines so there's no time limit issue. The meals can be ordered via web app, which customize users' allergy and dietary preferences. Also, the program reduces stigma by opening to all. Even though affordability might be a bit higher than the food stamps or pantries, there are limited spots to deliver to compared to every household. Our potential partner, Gooder, will provide a free delivery service to update food each week. Overall, Meals to Go provides a user-friendly, dietary various, and sustainable way to connect families with busy lives in need of good, healthy food. Next slide, please. Looking ahead to challenges in our solution are the relatively high price to install the vending machines, but partnering up with vending machine suppliers will reduce cost of installation and maintenance. Although refilling requires frequent delivery, we'll partner up with Gooder that has the existing infrastructure to do this. It is also difficult to decide which locations to place the first machines in order to help the most population, but we'll start in City of Glendale and hope to expand to the entire Los Angeles County. Currently, we picked 5 spots from the City of Glendale to initiate, including 3 schools and 2 community centers. We'll specify the spots in future slides.
We are a team of designers and digital strategists with experience in healthcare that come from a variety of different backgrounds. So our ask is a capital request of $35,000. $20,000 will go towards purchasing the initial set of vending machines, and the other $15,000 will go towards administrative and technical support to both develop the web app and manage the program. And that $20,000, the amount needed for the machines, heavily depends on a few factors, including whether or not an outside company is used to purchase and manage the machines, machine capacity, and technology. We are also asking for support in applying to grants that will help fund this initiative. And like we previously said, we propose with starting with 5 machines placed at locations including the Benjamin Franklin Elementary School and Maple Park Community Center, where parents and children already frequently visit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll turn it over to questions, comments, thoughts from the Glendale team or consultants. Is it Greg with the hand raised or?
I had the clapping emoji going on.
Oh, clapping.
I can give, yeah, great job. I can give some comments. I mean, I think that's a really, really great idea. We, for a while, had thought about doing like a mobile food truck in the city, doing something similar, but there's so many logistical problems with refrigeration and timing. I feel like a vending machine solves all of that. And like you said, by putting it in strategic locations, like it's just as helpful. So I think it's a amazing idea, and great job. Great slides too.
Thank you.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah, if you could, sorry, I may have missed this, and I apologize if I did. If you could just expand on the relationship of the third party Gooder, how they would work, what their role would be. I assume they'll be collecting. Would they be sorting and storing the food, so getting it into the lockers? So if you could describe the logistics a little bit, that'd be good to know.
Yeah, so we chose to present with Gooder because we know that they already put together grocery bags full of healthy food that families can actually make meals out of, and they deliver these. And we identified that a step in this plan would be putting the groceries together. So since Gooder has already done that and delivered straight to people's doors, we figured why can't they do that and deliver it straight to our large format vending machines. But I see us also working with Carrot we actually included an appendix in our slides that we can send you that lists other potential partners, and Carrot was one of our top alternatives.
Can I ask a question? This is Regina Wheeler, recycling coordinator. I wasn't introduced. I'm working from home. So my question is, can you hear me at all? You can, right? So my question is just about vending machines, and maybe Natalie could answer this question. I'm not sure about the county and health permits and that sort of thing about what we're allowed to do with leaving food in a vending machine and the amount of time and that sort of thing.
Maybe I actually had a question that's pretty similar to Regina's, being how long, what would be the mechanism for monitoring the food items that were in the vending machine to make sure that they were pulled out if they were spoiled? Because I can see there being potentially an issue of someone at the vending machine, if there's not a clerk there or someone monitoring the quality of the food, that potentially someone could be receiving an item that wasn't necessarily consumable, especially because a lot of donated food, a lot of edible food that's ending up in food pantries now is sort of at the end of its shelf life or close to the end of its shelf life, which is sometimes why it's getting donated. So have you thought about what your mechanism might be for quality control? And yeah, and Regina, sorry that I can't answer your question.
Right, no, I have no idea. And making sure it's suitable for consumption in the first place, right?
Yeah, I think that's where the partner would come in when they're putting together these grocery bags. But like you said, the produce might continue to, deteriorate while they're in the fridges. But we could use our web app to maybe set a timer so that whoever's managing the machines know when to check. But yeah, it would depend on the type of machine and also the partnership.
Yeah, and like we said, like depending on how much money could go towards purchasing the machines, that depends on the technology. So like kind of an ideal we had is similar to when you go to pick up at an Amazon locker location. So they send you a barcode and you scan that and the locker opens. And so each locker would have kind of a timer type of thing, how many days until it expires. And so that's what would show up on the app for people to reserve. And when they do, they'll get that barcode and they'll be able to scan it. And so ideally the technology is built in with that we are able to see, this is going to be good for 3 days. And then after 3 days, it's no longer available and it will get cleaned out the next time it's restocked.
So the follow-up question to that is, who would do the cleaning out? Would that be responsibility of the city, or how would that work?
We did factor in the cost of someone who could do administrative tasks. Perhaps this person could also be in charge of monitoring the machines and making sure that they're hygienic.
I feel like we also talked about partner up with the school officials and the community center administrative departments, so that maybe because these vending machines are places in their place, they can also take charge of them to do the cleanup work.
Most schools are contracted out. Most of their services are contracted out ahead of time. So they're not doing it in-house is what I'm trying to hint at. So I don't know if that can be arranged. That might have to be arranged by an outside company.
I have a question. Where did you guys come up with a figure for $5,000 for the development of the app?
By doing research on the average cost of a website creation.
A website or a web app, a mobile app?
Well, web app is very similar to a website.
Okay. From my personal experience in building apps and the costs associated with that, a web app might be a little less costly, but if you did want to have a mobile app, that would probably cost at least 10 times as much as your budget there.
Yeah. That's why we chose a web app and not a mobile app.
Okay. So people would access it
through a link.
Through a link on their phone. They would have to be able to link on their phone. Okay.
Yes, so we could, we discussed putting a QR code on the vending machines themselves, but when these families are screened for food insecurities at hospitals, a link to the web app would also be made available to them as an additional resource.
Definitely do consider it. Usually takes 3 times as long as 3 times as much money to even build a web app. It's very expensive, especially with something as complicated as like having individual users sign up, having all of the coordination between the types of foods that are in there and the dates and the expiration dates and things. It's a very complicated build there.
I may have missed it. I was assuming these vending machines would be located at a grocery store. Is that correct, or where would they be placed?
They would be,
go ahead.
Okay. They would be placed at community centers or schools. And we chose these locations because we want to make it as easy as possible for the parents and families to get to them. And these are spaces that we assume that they're already going to, schools and community centers.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight, this isn't a question, but just something that one thing in particular that I really like about your proposal is that you're sort of taking out the stigma, you're removing the stigma that sometimes comes with people that are food insecure and need to go to a special food pantry to collect food items, by having it in these sort of more central locations that maybe would have sort of secondary benefit of normalizing eating donated edible food. I think not only are you increasing access, but hopefully from a more mental standpoint, you're making it not seem as, I guess, intimidating for someone to get the food and sort of all the stigma that comes with that. And it also makes me wonder why these couldn't be at grocery stores if these are already, if that might be one of the donors and people are already there purchasing food. It could almost be a situation of they look there first to see if there's any items that are going bad that they could purchase that would save them money at the grocery store. Just in thoughts of increasing.
It's a liability issue at that point for them. The grocery store has to give it to a nonprofit organization to offset the liability, so that now it's the nonprofit's responsibility to maintain the temperature control and the freshness of the food. But I did have one more idea. You guys were talking in your original slide about how this would be geared towards families. However, I'm not sure if you're aware of the fact that 1 in 5 college students, community college students in LA County is experiencing homelessness and often food insecurity as well. So this program, I think, would be really awesome to be targeted towards those school kids on the campuses, in which case it would be good to take into consideration what types of tools they have available to make the meals. Sometimes they don't have access to a kitchen. So sometimes things like boxes of macaroni, when you have a box of macaroni, you need milk, you need butter, you need the ability to cook all of it together. So there might be even some sort of an ability, if it's a refrigerated locker, kind of like what we're doing with community fridges around the city, is to have prepared meals coming directly from the kitchen into a fridge type of situation where students have access to that meal that they don't need to cook for themselves. So there's a lot of possibilities for this to move forward.
Yeah, well, we were thinking, like, if we do, like, if this is something that we're able to launch and we have that framework, we could definitely expand into, we looked into some other partners that had prepared meals. So that would definitely be a great option. And another feature that we didn't include as put such a big emphasis on because we felt like there were other features that were more important. But like you said, you don't know what equipment or tools or in the kitchens that these people may have, and so including that when they're able to see what's in stock in the vending machine and seeing oh, this requires a saucepan, or this requires me to cut something, maybe I don't have good enough knives, and so then maybe that wouldn't be the best option for them. They could choose something else that would be better suited to their circumstances.
I know you only had I think Kate was saying 8 hours to develop these proposals, which is did in 8 hours was remarkable, so congratulations. But from our experience of going through something similar, I think a potential next step as you explore this idea would be very much to have discussions with the end users who potentially get your food and get their feedback because that is what's been really valuable, because they'll tell you all those things that they can do and cannot do. So I don't know whether you did that, but if you didn't, I would absolutely recommend that as the next step in this process.
Another potential collaboration would be like the HelloFresh type delivery organizations. They have extra meals. It's already prepared the way that it should be. It already has the type of insulation that it would need to keep food fresh longer. And they often have extra food that they are delivering directly to nonprofit organizations like Food Cycle LA, who's on this call right now.
Yeah, that is another thing we talked about, especially like even if they were able to do some type of like, you know, like kind of promotional thing where, you know, you say, oh, like people who are purchasing the HelloFresh subscription boxes, they can even just pay like an extra few dollars and that will donate meals to people who are food insecure. And I think that that's something that we were kind of talking about a few days ago.
Yeah, this is Nancy from Food Cycle, and I was going to say that Every Table is also a really great resource that donates a lot of pre-prepared meals. And I was thinking in terms of a pilot, to Allison's point about college students being, you know, having large amounts of food insecurity in Los Angeles County. Glendale College, which is located in Glendale, does have a food pantry, and that also in terms of a location or doing some kind of pilot would be a really good place, since they could do the sorting and actually handle this and make it more accessible to students who aren't able to access their resources during their hours when they're open right now.
I also really quickly, so I know we have another team pitch happening as well. So I just want to be mindful of time because it's taking place at like now on a different link. But do you guys want to like as a next, should we do next steps at the end of the next call and then I can follow up with the team Meals to Go?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Team Meals to Go. I will certainly be in touch with you on like next steps with all of this process, but great pitch and really good to see all of you again. It's been a while.
Great job, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Do you want us to log on to the next link?
Yes, I just put it in the chat. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.